Hello and welcome to my channel. You see, there is something important I want other Nigerians to know, and I think they shouldn't be taking it for granted. And I think Igbos should not be misconstrued. Do you notice that whenever there is a problem in this country, a case of injustice, whether it concerns an Igbo man or not, it is the Igbo people that raises alarm. The other day I was arguing with somebody. I told him, let's leave business aside, anything business, because anything goes with business. But the most honest people in Nigeria and the most truthful people are the Igbo people. Yes, they are more straightforward. And anybody you see the Igbo people following, they're not following you because you are Igbo. No, but because you are straightforward. Igbos are fond of following others. But that aside, we are talking about injustice in Nigeria. Igbos always cry about injustices. It is not just when it is done about them. I would like you to watch a video. We are going to talk about this at length. It's very important we talk about it. But watch this video first and we'll be right back.
Have you all noticed that when injustice is happening to people in Nigeria, the Igbo people are the loudest? The Igbo people cannot tolerate injustice regardless of your tribe, regardless of how worst enemy you people were or are. Igbo people will speak. This injustice happening in the Middle Belt and in northern Nigeria. Go and check the record. Igbo people are the loudest. There is even a saying that is the Igbo people that are fueling the USA because we can't stand injustice. But when injustice is befalling the Igbo people, nobody talk for us. They rather rejoice with injustice. Nobody stand for us. They will even call it propaganda. Even the unknown government, they will say it is us killing ourselves. Meanwhile, they know what they are doing. Just like a time will come when Jesus will shut his gates of mercy. A time will come when the Igbo will shut the gate of our defense. Wherever you are coming from, you will fight your battle yourself. That's just what I have to say. You are throwing parties because they sentenced a man who has been against the Fulani terrorists. They sentenced a man who was letting the Hausa to know that the Fulani came to seize their land. They sentenced a man who wants his people to be saved. They sentenced a man who united the Igbo people. And we saw what the Fulani agenda was about. And we avoided the Ruga, inland waterways, all their stupid plans just to infiltrate our land. We rejected it because of Nnamdi Kanu. And today, they've jailed him and people are celebrating. Only the Igbos, we are angry about it. When you go and write about your dissatisfaction, you will see them laughing under your comments. Well, time shall tell. But you know we bend us.
And let me tell you why I am saying this. You've seen that video. That explains it all. Let me tell you why we are saying this. The hypocrisy surrounding Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing. That is why we are saying this. Have you noticed something strange in this country based on what the lady is saying? Whenever injustice happens to any tribe, whether it is the Hausa, the Fulani, the Yoruba, the TV, the Idoma, the Ijaw, the Igbos are always the loudest, the first to shout, the first to condemn it. Like I told you earlier, Igbos hate evil, injustice. But when injustice happens to the Igbo themselves, Nigeria becomes silent. Some even celebrate it. And today, the same pattern has repeated itself. In the way many Nigerians are reacting to the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. Some people are chasing us away from Lagos. They say, Igbo, go and build your town. Even though they don't want us to go. Now, if you tell them, we want to have our own nation, they don't want it. And that is the reason they are crucifying Nnamdi Kanu today. These same people. If you ask the average Nigerian that is not Igbo, what has Nnamdi Kanu done to you, not Igbos, to you, that makes you hate him or want him jailed for life. Now, some will tell you they want to succeed. Okay, now, if secession is the problem, are you trying to say you love the Igbos, you want us to remain, and you like the country as it is going with the injustices? Are you trying to say so? Anyway, back to Nnamdi Kanu. What is happening now is not about one man. It's about a nation's conscience and how it changes depending on who is suffering. Now, I'm not here to tell you whether Nnamdi Kanu is a perfect man or not. I want you to understand the premise from which I am making this video. But there are certain things considered when you are dealing with cases like this. You are considering a region. Today, Monday, Southeast do not go to work. They do not go to school. What started it was sit at home. Because of Nnamdi Kanu, it's being held. We don't know when it can be settled with this particular recent ruling. So there are many things you consider, whether he is innocent or not. And the trial given to him is not balanced, whether he is innocent or not. The trial is lopsided. Anyway, welcome to IGBO AREA TV. Today we will take a deep look into the hypocrisy, the silence, and the celebration surrounding Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing, and why it matters more than many people want to admit. Now look at this lady's comment and why it struck a nerve. The lady who commented said something that many people feel but are afraid to say. Igbo people always fight injustice anywhere. But when injustice hits the Igbo, nobody stands for us. Instead, they rejoice. Whether you agree or disagree, that statement touches a very emotional truth. From the Middle Belt killings, to northern banditry, to farmer herders clashes, to religious attacks, the voices you often hear are the Igbo voices demanding justice. Check the history. Check the protests. Check the social media reactions. Check the humanitarian donations. Check political pressure. Igbo people do not watch injustice quietly. There is something Igbo people hate. Injustice. Now, but let's come back to when it happens to Igbo man. Yes. When the injustice is meted at an Igbo man. Whether it is profiling, political exclusion, market demolitions, business targeting, or unfair prosecution, suddenly the energy changes because it is not happening to an Igbo man. What you see is silence, you see mockery, you see celebration, jubilations. This is a pattern. And the lady was simply pointing it out. Now let's come to Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing, which is the main issue, and I think that was why she raised this point. Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing is a case full of legal contradictions. It is full of questionable procedures, conflicting charges, whether he did what or whatever. I'm telling you what is already wrong with that case. There is political interference. There's unclear or inconsistent interpretations of the law. I'm not just saying this. A lot of learned barristers, even the ones that are not defending him, have reacted to this. And they're saying same thing. A case that started under one administration, continued under another, and ended in a manner many lawyers themselves are still debating. But instead of people asking questions like, was this justice? Was the legal process fair? Was this sentencing according to the law or according to political pressure? Political pressure. Why does the same system delay justice for terrorists, but rush justice for political dissidents? Now, instead of asking this important question, some Nigerians, especially many non-Igbos, are online rejoicing. Not because they read the judgment, not because they understand the charges, not because they know the law, but simply because hey, it is an Igbo man who has been humbled. A lot of people in Nigeria today, they are looking for ways. They want to hear an Igbo man was humbled. And that is the painful truth. Many people are celebrating, but they do not even understand who Nnamdi Kanu was in the larger picture. Now, this was a man who consistently, he warned Nigerians about the rise of bandits. Nnamdi Kanu spoke about these things when they are at the smaller pace. And he could calculate, let me not say prophecy, he could be able to say, with the way this thing is now, look at where we are going to if we don't, he continued to raise alarm. Now, please note, there are good Fulanis. But Nnamdi Kanu constantly expose the danger of the killer Fulani husband, the killer ones. And in his program, some people see it as arrogant and warlike, but in most of his programs, he educated young people on self-defense. He united his people politically. He raises alarm. This is what is happening. This is how you should handle it. He's against the land grab agenda. He's against it. And these are some of what a lot of people see and want him crucified. Nnamdi Kanu questioned policies that are illegal, like inland waterways and cattle routes. You know about Ruga, things like that. He questioned it. And there are certain things a lot of people are afraid to say. Things that are about security threats. People will not, everybody's afraid. But he opened the eyes of millions. A lot of people are looking at where he failed. But what about where he got it right? He raised alarm. And, I don't know whether it is wrong to raise alarm in this country. You saw a danger coming and you're warning people. I don't know, perhaps it's wrong. So, today, the same country he won is still battling the exact things he spoke about at a larger scale. Banditry. Compare even 2020 to now. But he has been warning from 2016. And banditry has not ended. Militant headers have not stopped. Religious killing still happens. Security remains fragile. Villages are still displaced. There are villages, I was watching a video the other day. Some villages in the north has no people. In fact, some, they appeared like as if nobody has inhabited them before. He warned Nigerians about these things, and they are even at the escalation mode now. To show you, he was right about his warning. You could say he was arrogant, now you sabi. But I am surprised. A lot of people are celebrating his sentencing. And you know what that shows? Many Nigerians, they are not interested in what is truth. They are not interested in justice. That is not what they care about. What they want is tribal victory. They don't win Igbo people. We don't suppress them. Their man, Nnamdi Kanu, we don't jail them. And they could even have parties for that and toast drinks. It is sad. Now, there is a reason the Igbo nation feels deeply wounded by this. Because the same Nigeria that expects Igbo to fight injustices for others becomes silent when injustice hits the Igbo. The same Nigerians that condemn oppression everywhere laugh when Igbo are oppressed. The same people who call for fairness in every other case celebrate unfairness when it concerns Igbo matters. And the worst part, some even say it is propaganda or Igbo people are doing it to themselves just to avoid confronting the truth. The double standard is what hurts the most, not the sentencing itself, but the joy people are taking in it. And here are the dangers of this silence. Let's be honest. When a nation selectively applies its conscience, the nation is slowly destroying itself. It's only a matter of time. Because today, it is Nnamdi Kanu. Tomorrow, it can be anyone. Any tribe, any activist, any critic, and any region. If the people celebrate injustice because the victim is Igbo, one day injustice will walk to their doorsteps, their own doorstep, and there will be no one left to speak for them. Because the Igbo voice, the same voice that always stands for others, may not speak forever. By that time, perhaps, like the lady said, Igbos would have started minding their business and will not care whoever injustice is meted against. The lady's last statement is what shook many people. He said, just like the time when Jesus will shut the gate of mercy, a time will come when the Igbo will shut the gate of our defense, and you will fight your own battle yourself. The other day I showed you a video, a Benue state person was saying the Igbos need to support that they be liberated. They, the Middle Belt people, be liberated first. Things like that. And it come to a time Igbos will say, we don't care. And I think what the lady said is not a threat. It is a warning. A warning about human conscience. You cannot expect people to always defend others when nobody ever defends them. You cannot always demand the Igbos moral courage, but deny them moral fairness. The gate of compassion doesn't stay open forever. It closes. Yes. And there will be a time it will close. Nigerians have something to learn at this moment. The sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu should have united Nigerians in demanding transparency and fairness, not tribal celebrations, not popping up champagnes. Such a moment like this should have forced the country to ask some serious questions, some difficult questions about how justice is delivered, how activists are treated, how political detainees are handled, how courts are used, how tribal biases affect legal outcomes. In another video, somebody said it is a Yoruba judge that accepted. Some people are even seeing it as if, okay. I saw comments on social media. Somebody was commenting, even in my post, we will jail you, we will jail all of you. Igbo shebi una no dey hear. That lady has exposed Nigeria's worst weaknesses. A nation that chooses justice based on tribe, such nation cannot be at peace. In rounding up, in the end, it is not about Nnamdi Kanu. It is not just about Igbo. It's about Nigeria's moral compass. Because any nation where people celebrate injustice against one group will eventually choke on the injustice they help to create. These things are building. It's just like something that is accumulating. You think it doesn't have impact? It is not a case of nemesis. The impacts are something you keep depositing. It will touch everybody. I mean, those who are celebrating today, what happened? Remember, the law you support today because it punishes your enemy may come for you tomorrow. To those who stood silent, remember, silence in the face of injustice is support for oppression. And to the Igbo people, remember, your conscience is your power. But even conscience get tired. Thanks for watching. Please share this video after watching. Also subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel. I'm Azuka Oje. I say bye-bye for now.